Peace, everyone. I'm Tay.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Wali.
And we're Tay and Wali.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We recently saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
In theaters on Thursday night. We're finally getting around in order to do a quick review of the movie.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
Because we know some of y'all have not had a chance to see it and we don't want to be the ones to ruin it for you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
We usually like to give people a little bit of a grace period.
Absolutely.
So this video will be a spoiler free review.
Yes.
We will have probably a spoiler review sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
Talking more in depth about the movie.
Yeah, once more people have seen it, or enough people have. I cried. I cried. It was just such a beautiful experience to see how everything came together on screen, to different stories being told from Namor's perspective, Wakanda's perspective, Shuri's perspective. Like, everyone's story was just so well expressed.
There were definitely moments where I definitely shed tears. I will admit that wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I don't think anybody did not cry.
I don't think so. I think there wasn't really too many dry eyes in the theaters. It's odd because I've seen the trailer a couple of times. And so there was one particular sequence that I'm not going to say here that I've seen numerous times. But for whatever reason, when we were in the theater and everything that had led up to this particular moment, and once this moment happens, for whatever reason, it hit harder than I expected.
I think it was like finalized.
Yeah.
You know, globally finalized that this is it. There is no more Chadwick. There's no, you know, like, the story is forever changed with his passing.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
And we're all, I think, collectively grieving it in person, because I think we all grieved it throughout, like, the pandemic, more or less. You know, it's just more like an online community of grieving, like, oh, it's sad. But to be in a theater full of people who more or less experienced the same thing, and now we're here watching it, watching the movie close that chapter too. It made it really real and visceral.
So let's go down the list real quick. So Letitia Wright as Shuri. So this is more or less her movie.
Absolutely.
Letitia Wright was fantastic as Shuri. Shuri was compelling as a character, dealing with loss, tragedy, grief. She did a really good job. I thought acting-wise, she really did a fantastic job of portraying these levels of grief that one will go through, especially when you deal with a sudden loss. Let's talk about Namor. Her opposite in the film. Namor. So Namor was another character that I felt that you could empathize with his position. You could empathize with where he was coming from, and that made him a compelling. And that's the thing. I don't want to call him a villain per se.
Yeah.
I would say he's more of an antagonist, more of an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I would say that because Shuri and Namor in this movie are two opposite sides of the same coin.
Absolutely.
Like, they want the same thing, more or less. It's just that they have different means of achieving that. And that's where the conflict arises.
Yeah.
But no, Namor was fantastic. He was intimidating. He was powerful.
Yes.
He was very powerful. He was, and he was also a good leader, in my opinion. A good leader for his people.
Yes.
Queen Mother, Angela Bassett.
She stepped more into her role in this one than the first one.
Oh yes, absolutely. She steps into this role very well. A lot of the portions in this movie that hit me emotionally came from her.
I can agree with that. She was tough, dude, like the quintessential Black mother, like having to be strong for everyone else because there is no one else to be strong. And if she's not strong, then who's going to bear all of that?
I mean, you're right.
Yeah, so she had to pretty much expedite her grief and her loss and her process of healing to be able to do this. That's a lot.
Angela Bassett, give this woman her roses.
Please.
Give this woman her roses.
Please. It's been far too long.
Way too long. Give this woman her roses. Give her accolades. Give her the respect that she deserves. Angela Bassett was phenomenal in this film.
Yes.
Phenomenal. So let's do just a basic rundown of the story for Black Panther. We'll keep it spoiler free as much as we can, so that way you can go in and enjoy it as much as we enjoyed it for your first impression. The story just centers around the nation of Wakanda and how they're dealing with the loss of T'Challa, the King T'Challa. In the midst of everything else, there's these powerful nations around the world that are trying to acquire Wakanda's resources, vibranium. Wakanda is just dealing with all the fallout from T'Challa's loss, as well as appearing to be, quote unquote, weak to the rest of the world. As a result, these two different nations, both Wakanda and Atlantis, but not really Atlantis, come into conflict.
Yeah,
that's really. I think that's all we can really say as far as the story is concerned, because we don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't want to give you spoilers. We don't want to say too much and give too much away. The visuals of this movie are breathtaking.
Yes.
The costume design, in particular. Who was the person?
It was Ruth Carter. Yeah, she did it in the first Black Panther as well. Yeah.
We get to see some underwater looks of Talokan and Atlantis, and we get to see what this kingdom looks like, and it is gorgeous. I can see this. I can believe it, because the CGI is really well done. The underwater CGI in particular is really well done. It's not Aquaman in the sense that like the hair is flowing and blah blah blah, but I think it's a happy medium between the two.
Yeah.
Ryan Coogler had a really big responsibility with this film. He had a really big responsibility, and again, it's something that I said in our trailer reaction, is not a position I envy. Ryan Coogler had already finished the script for Black Panther 2 and sent it to Chadwick Boseman for notes. And then Chadwick Boseman passes away. And now it's on him and his responsibility to write a completely different story while dealing with the loss of his friend, and also managing to direct a movie that had such a place in the hearts of people, people particularly like us.
Black culture, yeah.
That is a lot to ask for. That is a lot to ask for. I think he did it well. I think he did it as best as he possibly could have.
I do want to add that for a nearly 3-hour film, it did not feel that long, which I think speaks a lot to Ryan Coogler's direction and just how compelling and entertaining and visually stunning the story was to experience. It only felt maybe like 2 hours.
True.
Like, I wouldn't even mind if it was a little bit longer either. Like, it just felt so good to have that and to watch and to experience that. Yeah, just like you said, everything you said, it was just such a great movie to watch. It was well worth the wait, well worth the script changes and all of the drama. It was worth it. And I'm so happy we got to experience this.
Let's go in and talk about some of the things that we might not have liked, or some of the things that didn't really stick the landing for us. I kind of wish there was more as far as the tribute to Chadwick Boseman, T'Challa. It's just, I wish that the ceremony seemed longer. It seemed like it was kind of, and I don't want to say it was rushed, but it felt a little rushed.
I think this is such an extenuating circumstance with how big this movie had become and how important it became. And I think, though it is still a movie, we could have offered a little bit of grace in the treatment of including the real life loss, because again, like I said, this movie was just so ingrained into culture too. It really kind of became hard to separate the two, which I feel is why we feel how we feel about it not being long enough. And it's hard to separate that. It really is hard to separate that. And again, offer a little bit of grace and just saying, it is a movie, but we do have to acknowledge that this does not happen often.
Yes.
And not at this magnitude. Like, we can't just completely rush it or ignore it. Like, I think it should have just been a little bit more care.
Again, like we said, we both feel that Ryan Coogler did a really good job as far as much as he could do. It was just, I guess we were kind of expecting a little bit more. Yeah. And that's not to say that the funeral service is bad. It's just that we were hoping for a little bit more from it.
Yeah.
Like maybe an additional couple of minutes more than we got in the very beginning. I think that's pretty much where we both stood on that.
Yeah. Like, where's the actual celebration?
Like, it just happened and it was over. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, now let's get into it. Okay, I'm here. What would you give it overall out of 10?
Well, I mean, overall, I would give it like a strong 8. That's personally for me. There are some other things that I didn't particularly like about the movie, but I think I can't discuss that here. So we'll have to wait until like our
next one
spoiler review to actually get more into some of the other things, because I can say it, but I feel like it will just like hurt other people's views as far as going into the movie completely blind.
Yeah, so we'll expand on the scores in a spoiler review.
Yes, but for me, it's not that it necessarily lost points. It's just that for me, that's where it plateaued for me personally. It plateaued like a strong 8. But that's personally how I feel about it. What about you?
Okay. I'll give it about a 9.
About a 9?
Yeah, I give it, and again, we can't really tell why we're giving these scores, but there were some parts that I think could have been a little bit better. They didn't make or break the movie, obviously. And I think the story itself and the visuals can carry it enough for you to overlook some of the minor things. That's why I'll give it a 9.
Okay, gotcha. So strong 8, a 9. I think those are fair scores.
Combined 8.5.
I think those are strong scores. I think those are good scores.
Yeah.
Like overall, we enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
Overall, we enjoyed the movie.
Absolutely.
It was a good time.
It was definitely better than the first one. I feel like it was better than the first one.
So, my brother, Ak, who shout out Ak, he mentioned in his opinion that, and I agree with him fully, that the first Black Panther was the better Black Panther movie. This, Black Panther Wakanda, is just a better movie. And I think I agree with that sentiment.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
I think I agree with that sentiment. So,
yes,
that was our down and dirty quick review of Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Yes.
What did you think about the movie?
Spoiler free, please.
Spoiler free.
We're not
Please
trying to
keep
do
it
that
spoiler
here.
free. We will be going through the comments, and we will be getting rid of comments that, just in case somebody feels a little bit too excited, they spoil something, or they get a little bit malicious and they decide to spoil something. We will be monitoring the comments, so please just try and keep it spoiler free as you can. Save the spoiler stuff for the spoiler review, so that people can go to the movies and enjoy it.
I feel like give people a week.
But no, what did you think about the movie? How do you feel about it? Comment below. Let us know how you feel about it. And
Thank you so much for being here with us. This is our first time doing something a little bit different. We're not reacting, but we're reviewing. We're reviewing. So let us know if you enjoy our reviews, and perhaps we can incorporate this a little bit more
do a little bit
into
more
the future of the channel. Yeah, and what shows, movies you want us to review, all that. Let us know. Talk to us.
And all that stuff.
Yes.
But no, we appreciate you guys for being here as always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you around soon.
And until the next time, be safe and be well, everybody.
Peace.
Now take care. I like it.